Welcome to School Report, a glimpse into the classrooms of St. Lucie County Public Schools. School Report provides the opportunity to share with the community academic and extracurricular activities of students in our schools. And now, here is School Report.
Of this DBQ, you are going to answer the question, why are hurricanes so dangerous? But the first thing you're going to do, you're going to watch a short clip, and you are going to record some information in a defining map. So go ahead and on your green piece of paper, go ahead and draw that defining map. And in the middle of the defining map, you're going to write everything I know about hurricanes. Once you fill in the middle, now, everything I know about hurricanes in the middle. And then put your pencil down. Okay, so remember, whenever we are brainstorming, making a list, telling me about what you know or think you know, we use the defining map. It's one of the maps we can use. All right. Now, let's go ahead and watch a short clip. Now, what I want you to do is in your defining map, go ahead and record everything you know or think you know about hurricanes. Got another minute. All right, stop, put your pencils down. All right, now, we need to remember to put our frame of reference. How do you know what you know? How do you know what you know? Where did you get this information? So you're going to put the big circle around. So you have this little circle, you have the big circle. Now I want you to put a square around the big circle. Did here we wrote everything we know. Now in the square, so somewhere in here, you are going to write, how do you know what you know? How do you know? Did you watch it from the Weather Channel? Did you learn this from experience? Is there something that you saw in the short clip that brought something to your mind? Did you watch the news? How do you know what you know? Anywhere in here. I'll give you about a minute to do that. You put it between the circle and the box, right around here. How do you know what you know? You can write it right here. Now, instead of books, what book? Do you remember the book? When you're recording your source where you got that information, we need to be specific. If you can't remember the book, maybe a third grade science book, a book about weather. Don't say, my third grade teacher. Who? Who? Give me a name. We need to be specific when we cite our sources. Okay. next thing we're going to do, we're going to discuss. We're going to do an all right round robin. As a reminder, this is when one person, and I'll let you know who gets to start first, will begin. And you will share one thing from your map. If people at your group do not have that, then they will write it down. And then we're going to go around the whole team until everyone shared everything on their map. Now let's see who's going to start. Let's see who's going to start. Group of 4, you watch the top. Groups of 3, you watch the bottom. And all right. So groups of 4, number 4. Groups of 3, number 1. Hold up. Let me get the timer going. And you may begin.
Something funny about hurricanes is that they can
Share something on your map.
they rain a lot and it does a lot of damage. And I knew what I knew from the news channel.
Now, if you don't have that on there, what are you going to do? Write it down. Write it down. So I
There's no fun with hurricane.
So remember, if you don't have what he just said, where do you need to put it?
They're dangerous. They can destroy a whole state. And they can pick up stuff.
Okay, remember, if you don't have it, what are you going to do?
I saw it in the news.
They can flood cities. They have
Good. I like how you're writing it down. Remember, if you don't have what your teammate writes.
I've got lots of roots and hurricanes in.
And what? Oh, okay. So you think remember one thing at a time. If you don't have it, write it down. If you don't have it, write it down. That's all right. All right, when we do a DBQ, we have so many goals that this will address. The first one that we are going to work on is this blue one that's in front of you, and it's up on the board. So put your finger on the number 3. Put your finger on the number 3. I want you to slide it over. Slide it over. And that is your goal. And it says students will be able to determine the main idea of a text and explain how it is supported by key details, and then you're going to summarize the text. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So let's look at this goal. The students will be able to determine the main idea. Talk with your shoulder partner. What is the main idea? You've heard me talk about it. My RTI group, we worked on that today.
Okay, so
Okay, with your shoulder partner. All right, my groups of 3 are going to talk together. What do you think the main idea is? Go.
The main idea
Talk with your shoulder partner. What's the main Remember in RTI? What do you talk about? Nathan, what did your neighbor say?
My neighbor said that the main idea supports the text.
Well, the details support the main idea. A little bit more about what the main idea is. What did your neighbor say? What do you think?
I think he would say, tell me the story of the top.
Okay, what it's mostly about. What is the gist? My RTI group, you heard me use that word, the gist. What is it mostly about? What is it mostly about? All right, so the students will be able to tell what the text is mostly about and explain how it is supported by key details. What does it mean to support? Be supported by key details. Talk to your shoulder partner. What does it mean to support it with key details? All right. Quiet signs, please. Quiet signs, please. Gregory, what did your table mates say? What do you think?
I think I don't know the word, but it helps the main idea
How does it help the main idea? It does help the main idea, but how?
by telling facts.
Okay, it could be facts.
By taking out little tiny details and like putting them together to make a big detail, maybe.
Okay, so it doesn't make the big detail, it supports the main idea. It's your proof.
Yeah.
It's your proof. So what's the details?
Details is the proof.
The proof. The proof. It's the proof of the main idea. It proves it. If I say the main idea of the story is that hurricanes cause damage, okay, great. What's your proof? That's the proof. You haven't read it yet. Put your hand down. Okay. All right. So let's look at the scale. So if you go down, put your finger on the 2. Put your finger on the 2. And go to the very last bullet. Determine the main idea of the text. That's where we're going to start today. That's where we're going to start today. You're going to read a text, and you're going to be able to figure out what the main idea is. Then we're also going to look at some key details, and then eventually we'll be able to get up here where we're going to use that detail to support the main idea. So we're actually going to be working right here for the next 2 days, right here. We're going to attempt to get up here to summarize the text. All right? Go ahead and put that off to the side. Put that off to the side. And open up, turn your book over, where it says, Why Are Hurricanes So Dangerous? Turn to the next page. You will see a 156 on the bottom. 156 on the bottom, right there. Okay. We are going to do a hook exercise. A hook exercise. Now, most of you, when we had the 2 hurricanes come through, I think you were either just born or baby, so you don't remember. You don't remember the storms. Now, when I went through it, when we all went through it, there were things that we had to do. You have to be prepared for a hurricane. All right? There are things that you can do, and you have a task. There is a list of 10 possible hurricane preparation actions, things that people need to do when preparing for a hurricane. There's about 10 of them listed on that paper. You are going to work with your shoulder partner. And out of the 10, you need to decide which 3 are the most important. You're going to decide which 3 are the most important, but you have to be prepared to share your thinking with the rest of us. You are going to look with your shoulder partner. You're going to decide. So you have to come up with a consensus. If you don't agree, you each need to state your case, but you have to come up with 3. The 3 of the most important. Now let's go through the list very quickly. The first one is decide where family members will meet later. The second one, put together a kit that includes batteries, flashlights, first aid supplies. Number 3, know the phone numbers for the electric company and the gas company. Fourth one, stash extra food and water dishes for your pets. The next one, call your grandmother and tell her not to worry about you. Buy a generator. Identify your community evacuation routes. Install permanent storm shutters on your windows. Store 72 hours worth of food and water. Tie down your patio furniture. So out of those 10, you and your partner need to decide the top 3. You're going to write your top 3 right here on this blank. But be prepared to share why. You may begin.
First of all,
I think that is. Yeah, plus like if you know how a hurricane shuts off all the power because things hit it, you know, like metal and stuff. You're gonna want to pack some food and water. I'm gonna put the first aid kit thing second because the stash food, extra food, we already have that, so I'm gonna make that last.
Yeah. Why not food and water first? And then you don't need a tight end for anything. So we have our 1, 2. Now we have generator. Yeah, because you need food most of the time. No. Yeah, 1, 2. The generator or so what do you think? I don't really need 72 hours worth of food and water. Just like hours.
Because if you get stuck somewhere where you don't have survival, you need food and water so you can survive.
Heard some excellent conversation. This group right here are just torn between two things. They're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This is something that as adults we have to kind of go through in our heads every time hurricane season approaches. So as you can see, it could be a tough decision and there's a lot to do. All right, so now what I want you to do is at your teams. So this group of 2 is going to share with this group of 2, and they're going vice versa. So you're going to share with the group across from your table what your top 3 things were and explain why. You're going to come over here and share with this group. All right? You may begin. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. See where you are in 3 minutes.
We put install permanent shower shutters on your windows because if you don't, a tree could crash through it and then it would bury it. And then would it be very pretty? Put together a kit to use batteries, flashlights, and first aid if your lights go out or something, you need a flashlight and batteries, and if someone gets hurt, of course we need a first aid kit. We also said buy a generator because you want to always have electricity and your refrigerator working.
All right, so let's look at it. Did anyone choose as your top 3, decide where family members will meet later? Was that anyone? No? Why did you not pick that one?
They should come straight home instead of staying at the friend's house all night.
Okay, well, let's look at it. Decide where family members will meet later if they're not home. What if we have I don't know, we have to leave the school, okay? And then we don't know, so I don't know where my son's going. What if he's stranded? What if the car, so yeah, it's a good idea, you know, not necessarily maybe the top 3. All right, put together a kit including batteries. I saw that in a lot of teams. Why did you put that as one of your top 3? Hold on for a second. We're going to have respectful listening when someone's talking. We're not. Go ahead.
First aid kit for if you have a cut or an injury.
Okay, so because first aid was part of it.
Patch it on you, if something cut on the leg and get cut, and have your first aid kit there, you can clean it off and put a Band-Aid on it so that can protect your cut.
Okay. Who else had that one as top 3? Harper.
I had that one because you need a flashlight and some batteries because you would always want to have some light because if the electricity goes wherever you are, you can have something to lead the way.
Okay, so you have the flashlight. Yes, very good. Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen a lot of times when you have hurricanes, you're going to lose power. So if we're talking about that one, then let's go to where it says buy a generator. Did anyone choose that as part of their 3? Why did you choose that one, Amani? Why did you choose the generator? Did you choose that because your neighbor said that? Why did you choose? Why did you two choose the generator?
I chose it because
What is a generator? What is a generator? If we don't know what a generator is, we may not know, why we chose it. Yes.
It's like a kind of box that's metal and it's like kind of a gray color, and it just like gives you power, like if you hook it up to something and like to a refrigerator, let's say, and your refrigerator will light up and all your stuff will start getting cold and hot.
All right. Yeah. So what's a generator, Amani? What did Ethan just say? Denali, what's a generator?
it gives you electricity.
How? You have to run it with something. What do we have to run it with?
It's technically a power source that you can use if power goes out.
Yes, it is a power source, and it runs on gasoline. So what's a generator, Amani? I'm not letting you off the hook. What's a generator? What do we say it was? Denali, what's a generator? Tell your partner again what a generator is.
A generator is the thing that runs on gasoline.
And what does it do?
Gives you power.
Gives you power. Gives you power. So why do you think you put generator on your list? Okay, Denali.
Stuff for electronics.
Okay, what else?
So you can keep your food cold.
Okay. Exactly. So again, why would you use a generator? What does it do? Gives you electricity. Excellent. Okay. All right. So, let's see. We did that. So all of that. So you're telling me that was more important than deciding where family members are going to meet. Okay. All right. Let's do a couple more. How about some of you had. You didn't know which one to pick between installing permanent shutters or storing 72 hours worth of food. Which one did you choose, Harley?
I did install permanent storm shutters.
Why?
Because you need to make sure that nothing comes in and that your windows don't break.
Okay. All right. So you may have, you're safe in there, but what are you going to eat?
Yeah.
That might be a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what? You're right, because one of the hurricanes that we went through, we did not have shutters, and we did lose a window. And we had a lot of cleanup. We had a lot of expenses to get things replaced. So yeah, I wish I would have had storm shutters. But I think I would do both. I would do the storm shutters. I would do the 72 hours of food, and I would do the generator. Because oh my goodness, because I would use the generator to provide the electricity that I would lose. I would have food, and the storm shutters would keep my windows protected. Okay, because we need to go back to our goal. Remember, our goal was finding the main idea. And we're going to do this by looking at this article. So in this article, Why Are Hurricanes So Dangerous? What I want you to do is put a box around the title. Put a box around the title. And we are going to now number the paragraphs. So the paragraph that says a hurricane is a tropical storm, put a number 1 there. The paragraph that starts with the hurricane has 3 main parts, put a 2 there. right, the paragraph that says hurricanes need special conditions, put a 3 there. Put a box. 1, 2, 3. That would be 2 right here. Okay, right here. 1. We're numbering the paragraphs. The paragraph that says, in our part of the world, most hurricanes form in the Atlantic Ocean, put a number 4. That would go 3, and that would be 4. Okay, over to the next column. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. The next column where it says, as hurricanes form, where do they go? That would be number 5. Number 5. Okay, and your task. This mini cue contains 8 documents. That's going to be a number 6. Last but not least, the picture in the center is number 7. Remember, when we did text features, we always have to look at our pictures. That would be number 7. Okay, we are going to do reciprocal teaching, and we're going to chunk this writing, this passage into 2 parts. The first part is going to be paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. And I'm giving you your sideways tree map. All right, so in the middle of each group, I have your placemat that tells you what each part of this reciprocal teaching looks like. We've practiced this many, many times in class. So if you notice on your tree branch or on your classifying map, your branches, you only have 3. You don't have the summarizing because we're going to do something different with the summarizing this time. All right, so the only 3 we're going to work on is the predicting. Remember, your predictions, this isn't informational, so I don't want to see this story is about. This is not a story. You're going to start off with, I'm going to learn about. And then you're going to tell me why. Please do not write, I'm going to learn about hurricanes. That's great. That's wonderful. But be specific. What do you think you're going to learn about hurricanes? Don't forget to include the why. Why do you think so? Why do you think that? Put your pencils down. Everybody's so eager to get started. But we're not ready yet. All right. While you are reading, you are coming up with at least 2 clarifications. Remember, clarifications are words or phrases that you or someone at your group do not understand. You're going to write those down. Don't forget the paragraph. What paragraph did you come from? Did you get it from? Because you were going to discuss it. And then questions. What questions do you have about this passage? This is your tree map. I'm going to keep this up to remind you what you have to do. Remember, when you do your prediction, don't forget to confirm or reject. Once you made your prediction, is that what you learned? If you did, then you confirm. If you didn't, you reject and then come up with another prediction. Questions before we get started? Yes.
Are we just going to read it and then do the...
You're going to read it? No, we're just going to read 1, 2, and 3. And while you read just those 3 paragraphs, you're going to fill those out. Okay? You're only doing paragraph 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. You made. This is solo work. That means our conversation is what? 0. Conversation is 0. If you have a question, raise your hand. There is no movement. Did you have a question? Okay. So what about the hurricanes? I predict I'm going to learn about how dangerous hurricanes are because glancing through the paragraphs and looking at the title. So tell me what makes you say that? It's about gone. Remember, I need at least 2 clarifications and 2 questions. Can you have more? Absolutely. Cars, motorcycles. Let's see if this works. That's a long E. What's that? If you are finished, go over those 3 paragraphs again. See if you can come up with any other questions or words. Search and write it down. And then put paragraph 1 and then put search. At least 2. You can come up with more if you need more. Because that's the next part. Quiet signs, please. Thank you. All right, now we're ready for our discussion. We're ready for our discussion. If you don't have your clarifications or your questions, don't worry about it. You still can participate in your discussion with your team. All right, so now we're going to have our discussion. So with your table group, you're going to discuss your predictions. Remember to confirm or reject. I confirm my prediction because. I reject my prediction because. Answer questions if possible, and clarify words or anything that someone in your group does not understand. All right, we are going to begin. Let's select our discussion leader. No, I don't want the timer. I want the discussion leader. Remember, groups of 4, you watch the top. Groups of 3, you watch the bottom. And the number that pops up will be my discussion leader this time around. Okay, so number 3 and number 1 for my groups of 3. All right. So my discussion leader, you're going to start off with your prediction, and then you're going to make sure everyone in your group shares their prediction, and it's up to you to make sure they confirm or reject. When you go through your questions and your clarifications, make sure you tell your group what paragraph, because you're going to read the sentence and see if we can figure out what the word means. All right, you may begin. Darius.
I think we're going to learn about hurricanes and how.
Sit up nice and tall.
I think I saw that. I saw a paragraph that said
Why
it goes up hard
hurricanes are dangerous, because looking at the title and seeing the picture made me take forever, and then Destiny, go ahead and say your
Because there was a title in that paragraph that said how the hurricane formed.
a heading actually.
I also predict that I am going to know where they go because there's an article about it.
Oh, did they do it?
In paragraph 2, I found a rain bands, and they got clear to me at first. It was and then in paragraph 2, definitely go ahead and tell your clear.
Okay, so go ahead and read it, and let's see if we can figure out what that means.
I know what it means, but
Okay, where do you see surge? Okay. All right, so let's read that sentence. Okay, so what's surge? Okay. Okay, Okay, what makes you say that?
Because it just like all makes sense that it says surge and also cause.
Okay, and then that word flooding. Okay. All right, did you hear what she said about surging? Surge? Because you need to be following what your teammates are doing right here. So she was talking about surging. Where is it? Right here, surging. Okay, so let's look. They also can cause flooding with heavy rains or by causing water to surge out of the ocean and lakes. So if you look at surge out and then flooding, what do you think surge means? Some groups are following directions. Boys and girls, you're having a table group discussion. That means when someone at your team is sharing his or her clarifications or questions, the rest of your groups, you're listening. When you're the person who's sharing, they're telling you go to paragraph 2. Everyone at that group must go to paragraph 2 because you're learning these words together. All right, keep going. I'm watching.
Make sure that we all looked at all the things that we know.
Rotation.
Right. So let's learn the paragraph.
Have you heard that word before? Okay. So that's good. That's good. That's why we're sharing, because you're taking what you know already, your background knowledge, and you're sharing with your other teammates. Okay. All right. Quiet signs, please. Quiet signs, please. A couple things that I heard. I heard this group right here. One of the words that they came up with is ferocious. And when Brandon shared his meaning, he said he's heard the word before. He's used the word before. And it's okay because he's using his background knowledge to teach the rest of the people in their group what a word means. And that's okay. That's the purpose of doing that, because you're teaching other people in your group. I heard this group. If you look at paragraph, where's Surge? Paragraph 1, or maybe it was this group. I don't remember now. I'm old, I forget. Okay, paragraph 1. It says that the last sentence, they also can cause flooding with heavy rains or by causing water to surge out of oceans and lakes. And this group took the context of that sentence. They said, well, they're talking about something that causes flooding, and if they look at surge out of oceans, it's coming out of the ocean. It's like coming forward from the ocean to the land. So that's a surge. That's a surge. So that's what we're doing with this, is we're learning from one another. Learning from one another. All right. Now we are on to part 2. You're going to finish reading this article, paragraphs 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. Same thing. You can continue on this paper. If you run out of room, just go to the back. Continue on this paper, so draw a line where you left off. You're going to make a prediction now. Is your prediction going to be the same? Do you still think you're going to learn more about how hurricanes form? Do you think you're going to learn something else about hurricanes? Write down what your prediction is going to be. No, just rewrite it. And then clarifications. What are some words? Some questions?
It doesn't make any sense to rewrite it.
And then we will, you're going to clarify. Write 2 clarifying words or phrases and questions. Do not worry about the summary right now. We're going to do that later at the end. At the end. Yes. That's okay, because then when you go back and discuss this part, you can go back to the beginning. All right, timer starts. You may begin. bias. Just write it. Turn around. Write your prediction, clarifications, and questions. Yes, you're reading paragraphs 4, 5, and 6. You're reading the rest of the article. Right now we're reading 4, 5, and 6. And then you're coming up, you have to make your prediction. Do you think you're going to learn a little bit more about hurricanes? Okay, tell me what you think you're going to learn more about. Now, if you look at this, we're reading a lot more. Here's tropical depressions. So what I'm saying is you're going to have to probably add more to your prediction because you're reading a lot more about hurricanes. What else do you think you're going to learn? Okay, so now we need to do 4, 5, and 6. I have a few students who are finished. If you're finished, go back and reread those paragraphs, see if we can add any more. Are you here? Sit down, please. Raise your hand if you're not finished. Okay, so a few more minutes. Those of you who are finished, go back and you can confirm or reject your ongoing prediction. Is this your prediction? Did you confirm or reject? Okay, tell me why. Don't forget to include why. Okay, again, raise your hand if you're still working. Okay, our time is coming to an end. All right. I still see a few people writing. We're going to get ready to have our last discussion, and then we'll write our summary. All right, I'm going to choose who's going to be our discussion leader this time around. Groups of 4, you watch the top. Groups of 3, you watch the bottom. Is that again? Oh, no. Let's do it again. No, we want somebody different. 2 and 3. So groups of 4, number 2. Groups of 3, I want number 3. You are our, give me 5. you are our discussion leader. Remember, as you share your prediction, make sure you confirm or reject your predictions. When you share your clarifications and your questions, remember to include the paragraph. All right, you may begin.
I believe that I was going to know all about and I said more about I've also learned
I still have my
it has 18 in the beginning. What that's right. On the next side.
I know how to spell them, but I don't know what they mean.
When the atmosphere is like the limit,
Depression,
because they can cause bad things in the world, and it don't read all of them.
Okay. They need a vast area of water. They need more water and space to get
I know. Which I would never happen to
Again. Scientists have given, so it's basically just a big story.
Come on. Okay, my two questions are, how do you consider something that you're not the leader?
Okay, the ocean is stored like a chimney.
Okay, quiet signs, please. I know the timer went off, but I still hear some discussions. Raise your hand if you're still having your discussion. All right, I'll give you another minute to finish up your discussion that you're having right now. Right now.
What do you have to do to survive?
Yeah, what do you have to do?
All right, quiet signs, please. Quiet signs, please. A couple things that I heard. Sit up. A couple things that I heard. Vapor. There was a group that pulled vapor. This group right here. If you look at, and I need everyone to put their finger on paragraph. Actually, it's part of paragraph 4, but it's all the way on the other column. Put your finger up there. Find the word vapor. Find the word vapor. Sit up, please, Desiree. All right, so let's read that. It says, when a tropical depression forms, air can rise very quickly into the atmosphere in those spots where the pressure or weight of the air is less. Warm, moisture, and what's in parentheses?
Vapor.
Vapor. So the author actually told you what vapor is. What is vapor?
It's warm moisture that turns into air.
Well, it goes into the air. It's warm. And what I told this group, if you think of the next time, I love to drink tea. So I boil water at night in a tea kettle, and when it boils and it steams, what comes out of the spout?
Vapor.
Water vapor. Water vapor. That's water vapor. Another thing, I like how this group, when they were discussing pinwheel, Ethan actually used some background knowledge. He had a game where it actually had a pinwheel. So he was able to take that and explain to his group what a pinwheel is. And he said it's something that turns around and around. And if you think of a hurricane, it spins. but while it spins, it moves. And that's what it's describing. One more thing that I want to share, and this is something for everyone, even my readers who are at high Lexile. When you come across a word that you don't know, you look at parts. Someone struggled with this word, so we said, okay, let's look at some parts that you know. And right away, this person was able to say special. So then they looked, oh, okay, I know that's special, it's especially. So again, using those parts of the words that you know. Using parts that you know. All right, let's go ahead and finish this up. With your table group, I'm not going to ask you to come up with a summary on your own. You may discuss it with your table group. On page 58 of your book, I want you to go to the very bottom where there's a check mark, and it says write a 2 to 3 sentence summary. Put your finger on the check mark. Put your finger on the check mark so I know everyone is on the same page. There you go. Right here, sweetie. Right here. Okay. So you're going to write a 2 to 3 sentence summary. And the summary is going to tell me how a hurricane is formed. That's what you're going to focus on. Your summary should answer these questions. What is a hurricane? How do they form? Where do they form? What is a hurricane? Where do they form? How do they form? So now you're looking at your background essay. Now thinking back to our goal is to determine the main idea. So now you're saying, what is this passage mostly about? And now we're writing a summary. 2-sentence summary. Work with your table group. And everyone needs to write something in their book on page 47. Yes, right there. All right. I want to hear discussion. Discussion. 2 to 3 sentence. 2 to 3 sentence. Right here. Right here. What are hurricanes? What is a hurricane? How do they form? Where do they live? Yeah, if you answer the questions, you're going to come up with a summary. Because that's what you read. You read, what is a hurricane? How do they form? Where do they form?
So first place. A hurricane is off the side of the road. When the sun hits the ocean and turns into vapor, it goes up to the sky. And if there's too much vapor, it's right down. It's right down.
Hurricanes form by they need a vast area of open water in which to form. They need warm water and need to have rotation of the earth to get the wind spinning.
Okay. So let's say a hurricane needs.
You're writing your summary right here.
A hurricane also.
What is a hurricane? Go back to your hurricane. What is a hurricane?
Oh, actually, never mind. No, not the A. Okay, so put also a hurricane.
We get thunderstorms almost every afternoon. Is that a hurricane? So what's a hurricane?
Is made. Is formed, I think. Formed by. Sorry, you changed what I'm saying. Is formed by. So, is formed
Which means
by. Okay, so a hurricane is formed by.
if you answer the what is a hurricane, go back. What is a hurricane? How is it formed? And where is it formed?
A vast area of open water in which a vast area of open water.
Okay, so they need a vast area of open.
All right, some of us struggled with this summary. Again, go back to your passage. What is a hurricane? That's found in the first paragraph. How is it formed? Where is it formed? I had Denali, he included about the pinwheel. You need to tell me that it moves as a pinwheel. Hurricane is a tropical storm. It is formed in the vast warm water. It rotates. The hurricane swirls like a pinwheel. Include all that. Include all that. All right, I'll give you a few more minutes and then we're going to go back to our map and then we want to conclude this lesson.
That begins with
Earth to get the wind spinning. Okay, very good. All right, this group has it. A hurricane is a tropical storm that forms over the ocean. A hurricane forms by needing a vast area of open water, warm water, and the rotation of the earth to get the wind spinning. They form in the Atlantic Ocean between Africa and the Caribbean Sea. There you go. All right. All right. Quiet signs, please. I need you to sit down, please. All right. Let's go back to our defining map on hurricanes. That's on your blue part of your, green. This part right here. If you go to this and then turn it, there's your green map. Okay. I want you to go back. What can you add? What did you learn about hurricanes from reading this background essay? I want you to add, because we're revising knowledge right now, I want you to add or take away. If something you have in your map that it's like, oh, whoa, there's no way that's with hurricanes, cross it off. And then I want you to add something to your defining map that you learned from reading the background essay. Nice and tall, please. When you're finished with that, you're going to add a so what and why. What do you now understand from the information in your map? You're just going to write it right in your map. And why is it important? Why is it important? You have about 3 minutes. You're going to write anything that you learned about hurricanes from the background essay. Anything that you learned. You're going to put it in this defining map. Do that now. Then you're going to answer those red questions. What do you now understand? What do you understand about hurricanes?
What are we going to write it in?
Right here. You're going to write it in your map, right here. And the so what and so why right here. Right where you wrote the resource. You wrote your sources here. You write your what and why here. In the box. All right, my hand is up. My hand is up. I need everyone. Get your oxygen flowing. Bottom to bottom, back to back. Bottom to bottom, back to back. Thank you. When you're writing, and I'll start this over, revising your knowledge. Remember when you wrote things in here? Now you're going to go back and add things that you learned. What did you learn from reading the background essay? You're going to write it in here. And then, do you remember when you wrote your sources, how do you know what you know? Well, now you're going to go back and write, okay, what do you know now? Why is it important? Why is it important to understand hurricanes? Why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important? All you're doing is writing it in your map. All right? You may begin. What did you learn? Just spell it the best way you know how. You're writing information that you learned here. And here you're going to tell me, what do you now understand about this? Why is it important? Back to your background essay, then go ahead and do so. Finish up. What do you now understand about hurricanes? Why is it important to understand hurricanes? And when you're finished, put your pencil down. Oops. Oh. Okay, now what I want you to do is reflect on what we just did today. If you remember back, our goal was main idea, details, and summarizing. On that index card, I want you to put today's date, 9/29/14. And I want you to tell me, what is it? What critical information are you now clear on? And remember, that critical information that we talked about today was that main idea, those details, and that summarizing. What are you clear on? What still confuses you? Remember to use complete sentences. Explain. Describe and explain. What is it you're clear on? What is main idea? What is detail? What do you do when you summarize? Then you raise your hand and I will help you. And then your effort. Remember, what you put in is what you get out. Sit down on your bottom. What you put in is what you get out. So what did you give me? I put very little effort into it. That would be a 1. I put some effort into it. I stopped when it got hard. That would be a 2. I need you to sit up. 3, I worked on the task until it was completed. I pushed myself. Even it got hard, I pushed myself. And then 4, you took that a step above. Even though it got hard, I pushed, I sought, I looked at different ideas. That's over and above. That's a 4. That's just your effort. No, there's no 5. There's a 4. Now, what was it you don't understand? You're telling me, remember up here, thinking about today's lesson, what critical information are you now clear on? We talked about main idea and details. When we looked at the background essay, we picked out that main idea when we wrote our summary. Are we clear on main idea? What is the main idea? Okay. Okay, so what was the article mostly about? What about hurricanes?
How they form.
Okay, so are you clear on that? What about the details and summary? Then tell me, I'm clear on it. And then you're going to rate your effort. When you're finished, you may go ahead and close your book. You may close your book, right, like before. What are you clear on with the main idea? Is there something that still confuses you? I still struggle with main idea. I'm going to collect the cards. I'm going to sort them and see what I need to work with on. You finished? Okay, whoa. I'm clear on hurricanes, great, but are you clear on main idea? What's the main idea? Okay, so then you're not clear on main idea. So you need to tell me, I don't understand main idea. And then I'm going to work with you on that. So what is it you don't understand about main idea? What did you read about? What does that say here? Okay. All right. my hand is up. Go ahead and finish this up. You can go ahead and close your DBQ book. Make sure your name is on your card. Make sure your name is on your card. And you can go ahead and put your blue paper in your gold notebook behind reading. It goes behind the tab reading. Behind the tab reading. Jermaine, I need your name on it, please. Finished. Oh, don't worry about that. That was from last year, yeah. Keep it. Oh, good question. Your white paper with your sideways tree map, just put it inside your goals and scale. I'm sorry, your DBQ book. Just put it inside your DBQ book. Where you were. Just keep it on your desk. All right. When you're finished, go ahead and get a library book out, please. Thank you. Yes, go to